You can also visit our social media handles at Dominion CTPH. Dominion City, raising leaders that transform society.
Okay, all right. All you need to know about this one is that
95.1 FM. Such a unique diet.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Thanks for joining us. Good afternoon. Here's the business news. On Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt, I am Lucky Maxwell. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has banned banks and financial technology companies from international money transfer services. This development is contained in the revised guidelines for the operations of IMPOs, which were officially released on January 31, 2024. The Apex Bank also excludes individuals from the management of banks, shareholders, and officers of a bank. In the previous guidelines issued in 2014, only deposit money banks were prohibited. However, the CBN has extended the ban to fintechs. The Apex Bank also increased the application fee for IMTO license from 500,000 naira in 2014 to 10 million naira in the revised guidelines. This is an increase of about 1,900% in about 10 years. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has said that the mechanical completion of the Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company is scheduled for completion in the first quarter of this year. The other two include the Port Harcourt Refining Company in Rivers State and the Kaduna Refining and Petrochemical Company in Kaduna State. Rehabilitation work is also ongoing at both facilities. The Warri Refinery is a complex conversion refinery with the capacity to refine 125,000 barrels of crude oil per day. The facility includes a petrochemical plant producing polypropylene and carbon black. The 2023 presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has accused President Bola Tinubu of forcefully taking control of the finances of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Atiku said Tinubu wrested NNPC finances and donated it to the Federal Ministry of Finance and the CBN. In a post on his official X handle, formerly Twitter, the former vice president insisted that Tinubu's action has no ethical or legal basis because it violates the principles of due process. A French company, Canal Plus, has offered to acquire South African pay TV giant MultiChoice for around 1.7 billion naira. In a statement issued by the Paris-based firm, Canal Plus announced that it submitted a non-binding indicative offer to MultiChoice's board to acquire all of the issued ordinary shares it does not already own, subject to obtaining the necessary regulatory approvals. In its last annual report, MultiChoice revealed that Canal Plus owned 140,160,277 of its 442,512,678 issued shares. Its report said that over the past 4 years, Canal Plus had steadily bought MultiChoice shares on the open market until it held over 30% of the company. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has procured additional rolling stock for the Blue Line and Red Line rail operations. These extra rolling stocks, anticipated to arrive in Lagos from China before the end of this year, are to provide further relief to millions of Lagos residents. The Lagos State team, in collaboration with its partners, successfully negotiated an agreement for the additional rolling stocks, ensuring their delivery before the end of 2024. The time frame contrasts with a typical 2-year period required for the construction company to manufacture the coaches. At the meeting between Lagos State officials and the president and management of the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation in Beijing, China, Governor Sanwo-Olu reiterated his administration's commitment to completing the second phase of the Blue Line Rail project. On the foreign scene, Chinese billionaire banker Bao Fan has been missing for almost a year, has resigned from all roles in his firm, China Renaissance Holdings. He stepped down for health reasons and to spend more time on his family affairs, the bank said in a statement. Bao's unexplained disappearance in February last year shocked China's business and investing community. Just days later, China Renaissance said he was cooperating with authorities who were conducting an investigation. In its latest filing, the company said co-founder Xi Jinping will assume Bao's most senior roles. And that's the business news. I am Lucky Maxwell. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my people. Are you ready for an electrifying experience that would send shivers down your spine? Welcome to the thrill. Hold on tight as we dive into the hottest high life tracks that will make your pulse race and your feet move. It's not just a show. It's a musical and talk adventure that would leave you craving for more. Ladies and gentlemen,
To a journey of discovery, exploitation, and essence of natural resources on your premium talk and news and sports station. It is Greenland.
Land is green, it's green, oh, oh.
A program that brings to center stage issues on agriculture with analysts, technocrats, and farmers.
To discuss the challenges, opportunities, and role of agriculture in Nigeria and how it affects our economy. Every Friday, 1 p.m. only on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Greenland. We're live on Today 95.1 FM. Time check in our studios. 9 minutes now past the hour of 1. The first edition for the month of February 2024. I am Kelly Ikemenjman. It's a pleasure as it is a joy to be here today. Last week we started a conversation on fish farming. We'll stay here. I did say last week that we'll look at captured fisheries today. We'll look at that today and try to just make some sense of it. But the conversation for last week was extended. It was just broad. We look at how we could scale the places that we could channel our energies more so we could get better results, whether it was captured or cultured fisheries. We talked about the strength, the challenges, and so on. The guest analyst last week sort of just settled for it would be better we focus on our energy on cultured, the catfish and all of those things, grow it, scale it, and then we can begin to get into the other areas. But we have traditional fishermen that take their boats and their canoes, they go out into the sea, they cast their nets, what they catch they're able to bring back. I think I've mentioned it here before, my experience when I went to Oyorokoto. That's the fishing settlement. It's actually a settlement. Yeah. When I went there, I thought it was a city. They don't have schools, nothing. It's just it's a fishing settlement. Sadly, I went when they were out of season, but we saw some crayfish. They were able to do a good catch of crayfish. We saw that displayed and all of that. And one of the things I said to me while I was there was, imagine that we had a good storage system. Whatever was caught by the fishermen would not be sold off immediately. They will be able to process them, store them. So at the time I got there, if I wanted fresh fish, or say fresh fish, maybe not in season, caught some 3 days ago, you don't have to catch and sell because you don't have a means of storing it. And then I had the bitter experience of, because the person that took me around just took me to the hospital there, and there I felt like weeping. There I felt like weeping because no light for them to do anything. It just felt one kind, and the doctors I think there was even a youth copper there, and like, there's no light, there's no water, so it makes it even difficult for us to do what we need to do. This was maybe 2 years ago. I don't know how much the situation would have changed now. But so the question for the show this afternoon is, how can we encourage our fishermen? How can we encourage our fishermen to increase their catch? How can we encourage them? That's exactly where we want to stay today, because we're still talking fish farming. And our guest joins us live in the studio, Mr. Vitalis Chindabule, Agriculture Development Program Manager, River State Branch, Agriculture Development Program Manager, River State Branch. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kelly Kimanjuma, once again. Good afternoon to our listening audience.
Okay, so last week I know we didn't really differentiate which was which. So let's begin with that. Captured fisheries, what is that?
Sure, we in the fishery anchovy, or in the fishery industry, we have two broad segments of fishing operations or fishing activities.
Okay.
We have the most popular, the traditional captured fisheries, and we have the culture fisheries. But today we are emphasizing and concentrating on
the captured. So what is the captured?
Even inside the capture fisheries, there are two offshoots. We have the artisanal fisheries and deep sea fishing. Okay. Artisanal fishing activities or fisher folk. Those fisher folk, I would like to use fisher folk in place of fishermen and fisherwomen. Fisher folk comprises both.
Okay.
Because some women are into fishing activities, likewise some men. So if we start saying fishermen, fisherwomen.
I saw some that day.
Yes, there's an encyclopedia that says fisher folk.
Fisher folk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, fisher folk. So some of them that can now dive into the main open sea, the deep sea. No, the deep sea has its own challenges. Okay, some of them that cannot dive into the deep sea because of one challenge or the other. Maybe because of the capacity of the trawling machine or the trawling boat, or they may limit their activities, their fishing activities within the brackish water environment.
Okay.
Brackish.
Okay.
So after the brackish water, let me segment. The river flows from a top mountain. The river flows from a high mountain, a high mountainous area.
All right.
As the river is ascending, we call it the mouth of the river.
Okay.
As it's descending, it's coming to the middle, the water body, the middle of the river. From the middle of the river, you are all the water bodies, the stream, the creeks, the puddles, the lakes, the rivers, all of them, they are channeling their activities, their flow activities into the ocean. They are tracking the ocean.
They're all tracking the ocean?
Yes. Even the water that run off in the gutter, they're tracking their destination into the ocean. They know where they're heading to. And yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, they know where they're heading to. They know their bearing. And so as they get down to off the water body, they are going into the brackish water. Something like the Ogoni area. The Ogoni area, the Gokana, the Okrika, Okubolo.
Where you have the sea.
The sea.
Yes.
That is. You have not gotten
to the ocean.
To the sea. That is the brackish water. The brackish water is an intermediary, a middle water body between the mouth of the water and the ocean. It's in between, and it is very, very productive in fishing activities. Highly productive. A lot of fishing activities happen there because it has a high capacity to harbor a lot of various species of fishes.
But you will not get some of the big and rare catch.
Yes, I understand. So these artisanal fishermen, they dwell on the brackish water. But they pick the periwinkles, they pick some of the fishes that are adapted to the brackish water. Yes. Some fishes move from the brackish water to the main ocean.
Okay.
And migrate back, call it fish migration, migrate back to the brackish water where they breed. Because the water volume is not high. They breed there, and after the breeding, they take their distance. When their fingerlings and their fries are, up to a maturity, then they migrate back to the ocean, like the salmon, the salmon tuta, the family. And so, some of these fishermen center most of their fishing activities on the brackish water, where the tide is not so high.
So those will include the artisanal.
Artisanal. So for those of them that venture into the open sea, the deep sea capture activities. Yeah, these are the ones that are really into the deep sea capture business. They meander and they penetrate into the high sea with a sophisticated or well-powered fish boats or trawlers.
Do we have many of them?
We don't have much.
In this country?
In Riverside we don't have much, but in this country we do, because most of the big boys, quote and unquote, yes.
Okay.
Yes. They buy the fishing boats with a lot of gadgets, trolling, and all other, in the fishing boats, the trawlers, most of them are models. They're simulated by current high-tech technology, where the fishes are, you see arrow pointing, where you get inside the ocean.
So it's like they have a
school of fisheries, yes.
They have a tracker.
Yes. Large school of fisheries. Called the school of fisheries.
Okay.
Where we have large of them. You just go there, make a big catch. It's tracking you, telling you where you can catch, make a large hole, a large catch. So we have them, but there are few. It's for the big boys, the millionaires, and perhaps the government that has passion for that industry.
In your experience, do we have any government with that kind of passion?
Yes. We have.
In which state?
Perhaps in Delta.
Delta state?
But I don't have much statistics, much information to buttress my point.
Okay.
In the Delta, I think they do.
So they do deep sea fisheries?
Yes. I think there was a time when River State fishing trawler, I don't know, was off the estuarine, went into the deep sea, very close to Cameroon, and it was apprehended. And they said they are fishing beyond the coastal boundaries of Nigeria and the DC, because each of the countries, they have their coastal boundaries or territorial boundaries. But most of these neighboring African countries, West African countries, they intrude into Nigerian coastal waters and fish and make a lot of money and go.
So we actually do have a huge potential there.
Very, very huge.
And the last time we talked, they said it's already booming. Fisheries is booming in Nigeria. But we also established that we seem to be doing more activity than we can translate to say we're making progress.
Yes.
So our focus is, it is safer for the equipment that
they have, because they don't have sophisticated equipment to meander or to penetrate into the high sea. Yes.
But let me ask you this question.
Yes. In fishery biology, there are seasons. We have seasonal migration of aquatic animals, seasonal migration of fishes. In English language, we have fish, but here we have fishes. Okay, because there are various diverse species of fishes. Yes, not fishes. In English language, singular plural, we have water that has not. But in marine biology or in hydrobiology, aquatic biology, we have waters. It's allowed. Waters, because we have both brackish and estuarine saltwater, marine, and that is waters, water bodies. Okay, and so there was something. Remind me once again. Let me before I digress.
No, the case of the fishes.
Yes.
That migrate.
Yes. We have seasonal migration of aquatic organisms, and fishes are one of the chiefs of the aquatic environment. So from time to time, because of either maybe one or two variables or two factors, they migrate seasonally. Lunar migration.
They leave the deep waters.
They leave the deep waters. Probably, most at times, they want to come and breed. They want to come and reproduce.
Okay.
They leave the high turbulent sea, where there are a lot of high waves. You know, the sea is always very turbulent.
Always?
Yes, always turbulent. The sea knows the rest. It doesn't rest, turbulence. And so, they leave the high turbulent sea, occasioned by recurring waves, down to the brackish water. Brackish water, which is the estuaries. They hide in the creeks. These are the creeks. The estuaries are the creeks.
Okay.
They hide in the creeks where there are good natural spawning grounds, breeding grounds. You know, intermeshed with a lot of coastal waters, a lot of aquatic plants. They hide under the aquatic plants for their eggs. They incubate to breed and hatch, and before the fries and fingerlings will come up, So those places are more safer for them. They are very intelligent. They shy away from where the waves will carry all the young ones, the fries, into the high sea, because in the sea there's no hiding place for them to do all these things. So they come to the maternity, which is the estuarine or brackish water, for breeding. So when their young ones are well matured to stomach or to imbibe the turbulency of the sea, they go back to the sea. We call them diadromous fishes. There are fishes that stay in the marine environment. They also stay in the freshwater or brackish water environment. They are diadromous fishes. They stay here, they stay there. But some fishes cannot stay in both marine and estuary. They are just marine fishes, and you don't see them in the estuary.
I've seen
some of them are domiciled, adapted, purposely for the estuary, brackish water environment, and not for the marine saltwater environment.
I've seen a case where they killed a whale.
Yes.
I've seen them kill a shark.
Yes.
Swordfish. These are the ones I can remember.
Yes, they are dromos because of their kidney and their alimentary canal, how it was adapted.
Okay.
Because they can manipulate the high tide of hypotonic water and hypertonic water, salt water and fresh water. Their kidney, their organs, internal organs can oscillate, can carry them. But in other fishes where their kidney or alimentary canals cannot carry them, they remain where God has told them to remain. But these ones are, they are there in the marine environment, saltwater environment. They are there in the brackish water environment because they can juggle the two.
Okay.
That's why you see some of these big fishes in the marine being caught in the brackish water. Maybe because of high nutrient content of the brackish, they want to come and tap some and go back. Maybe from there they are caught in the web of the whole thing by the fishermen.
So the fisher folk,
yes,
we're looking at how we can encourage them.
Yes.
How can we encourage them? Let me ask the question.
How can the government encourage them, or how can we, you and me?
The government in particular. They say we are part of the government.
Yes.
Because somehow we made a decision, whether we chose to vote or not, we made a decision.
Yes.
That brought about a government.
Sure.
So there is the government. The question is, how can we encourage them? Because we talked about the challenges with other species of fishes. And that's what we talked about last week.
Yeah,
why a lot
the
of
tilapia
people,
and the catfish.
Yes, why a lot of people prefer to do culture
instead of
with catfish.
Yes,
because catfish is resilient,
yes.
Right? Yes. And they have a tenacity to survive.
Yes.
In difficult terrain.
Yes.
Whereas in the case of the tilapia and the others, that's not the case.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, but people like to eat these things.
Sure.
So if we have the fisher folk that are going into the seas, staying within the brackish water, and even those that are going deep sea, to get some of these species in the quantity that makes it such that they're not so pricey in the market, it will be good for all of us, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So how do we encourage them?
Sure. Well, I will start by suggesting to the government of the day to get farmers. The River State Agricultural Development Program is there. It's an agency of the River State government.
Okay.
It is an offshoot of the Ministry of Agriculture. And so this agency is saddled with the responsibility of engaging farmers and the fisher folk into high agricultural activities, to stepping up, to upscaling our agricultural productions. So fish is part of it. Fish and fisheries is part of it. So first of all, I would suggest that the fisher folk or the fishermen or the fisherwomen should get aggregated into a fisher folk cooperative societies or cluster groups, because you can reach them easily and more in number than when you start dealing with individuals. Yes. And so that is number one step. And ADP is there to do it.